What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Tonight we've got some more huge reveals. We have the first cards revealed for Selection 10. This is huge. If you don't know about Selection 10, this is the core, or not a core. This is a side set in the OCG that gives 35 new cards to 10 different archetypes. Not 35 each, but 3 to 4, we'll say, for each one. So keep that in mind as we go through. If you don't see 3 to 4 of a certain archetype as we're going through, keep that in mind. We'll probably get a couple more. All right, moving on. Let's start off with the first cards. As you can see here, we have a new Shaddoll card. This is huge. I did not think Shaddolls would be here, considering we got the Shaddoll structure deck literally like at the end of last year, so it hasn't been that long, but I'm not complaining. So without too much further ado, let's go through. Starting off here, we have Neff Shaddoll Genius. Artwork's kind of weird, but I love the weirdness of Shaddolls. This is an Earth Machine flip effect monster. It's level 4, of course, with 1800 attack and 1000 defense. And you can only use this card's name's first and second effect once per turn, and only once that turn. So hard ones returns, and you got to pick one of them. You can't use both in the same turn. Its first effect reads, flip effect. You can target one Shaddoll monster you control. This turn it is unaffected by monster effects while face up on the field, except its own. Okay. Interesting little protection effect. I like that it's completely unaffected by monster effects, instead of like targeting protection or something. Just make it fully unaffected, not half bad. Second effect reads, if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one effect monster on the field. It cannot activate its effects on the field for the rest of this turn. Okay, so not an insane card, but if you're able to just like quick effect send this card, it will be pretty nice. Just kind of like that's negated now. It's not that bad. It is just a quick disruption, and I am about it for that aspect. But the flip effect's not too crazy. I mean, like protection from monster effects, it can come up when you're like trying to go for game, or you want to like, I don't know, fusion summon into something and then use this to protect that fusion monster from negates and stuff. Like, that's fine, but you wouldn't be able to do that as a quick effect because it's a flip, unfortunately. So just kind of an interesting card. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's awful. I think this second effect could come up pretty decently just as like a disruption, but yeah, we'll see where that goes after this. So moving on here, we have a new card called Hell Shaddoll Void. Oh boy, this is a Fire Fiend flip effect monster. It's level 9 with 2900 attack, 2900 defense. I don't see any materials or anything here, so I'm guessing this is just a regular main deck level 9, which the deck has nothing bigger than what Beast at level like 5 or 6. Interesting. You can only use its first and second effects once per turn and only once that turn. First effect reads, flip effect. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Send one Shaddoll monster with the same attribute from your extra deck to the graveyard. And if you do, banish that target. Okay. Alright, so you get to... So you target to start, then you send a Shaddoll with the same attribute from extra deck to grave, and then you banish that target. Keep in mind, some of the Shaddoll monsters, when they're sent, will actually get you some kind of recursion or search effect. Definitely keep that in mind, because especially if you're hitting something that's a dark monster, huge value off this card. Okay, pretty cool flip effect. And his second effect reads, if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard equal to the number of different original attributes on the field. Again, not half bad if you're able to just like fuse this off, even just Foolish Burial this card, you then get to at least mill based off the amount of cards on the field. I'm about it. I think that's a pretty good effect. Just potentially getting, like Burning Abyss levels of just good mills, and triggering more effects, getting yourself more advantage. I think that's pretty good. So yeah, I think it's a little weird. If it is a main deck monster, that it doesn't summon itself. It doesn't seem to summon itself anyway. That's the only weird part for me. But other than that, I think it's like an interesting card. I like his effects, his flip and his ascend effect. And this one's a little weird too. But I do like the send effect, being able to essentially like give yourself an imperm-esque effect, as long as the monster you're targeting wasn't triggering on summon. So pretty cool. I think I got 2 cool Shaddoll cards. Moving on here, we have Galaxy Eyes. Who would have thought? Galaxy Eyes support. Crazy. This is Galaxy Eyes Cipher X Dragon. This is a light dragon Exceed effect monster. It's a rank 10, of course, with 4,000 attack and 3,000 defense. Its materials are any 2 level 10 monsters. I like that that's nice and generic, but also the second part is very important. Once per turn, you can also Exceed summon this card by using a Cipher dragon monster you control as material, in which case you will transfer the materials to this card. Awesome. It's going to be very easy to summon. I think now you can, I believe that means you can make this on top of a couple of rank 8s instead of rank 10s. Much easier to set up. Very cool. All right, as for what this card does, it says, first effect, you could attach 2 materials from this card as cost. Then your opponent cannot target light monsters you control with a card effect until the end of their turn. Okay, so until the end of the turn, you'll have targeting protection for your light monsters specifically. All right. Second effect reads, once per turn during your standby phase, you can return 1 rank 9 or lower Dragon Exceed monster from your graveyard to the extra deck, then special summon that monster from the extra deck by using this card you control as material. This is treated as an Exceed summon, in which case you transfer the materials that was on him to the new monster. That's kind of interesting. It kind of like rotates, I guess, then. So you could like use this card or make this card on top of something, detach to summon this one. Or not detach, sorry, detach to, I guess you don't even detach. You could like detach to use his effect for the protection, a push for a lot of damage, and then after that you could also, if he stays alive until your next standby, he also would then let you rotate back into one of those ones that get you like more pops if you weren't able to get the kill. It seems kind of like a weird card. Like, it seems like you almost like wish that it did something more, like some kind of removal effect, some kind of disruption effect, because like the utility seems that is that it just like gets in a new monster, like that's it. Like if something was like negated or you know what I mean, like fog bladed or something, he could help dodge that. But outside of that, I'm sitting here and I'm going like, what's the point of this card? It's just a big beater, I guess. It gives you protection. Protection is not half bad, but weird. Interesting card. I don't understand. Maybe I just don't know the Galaxy Eyes Cipher monsters as well as I should, but yeah, it's fine. It's an interesting card. I'm just not entirely sure if I'm missing something on exactly what its like utility is. Taking us to some new cards, we have some new Laval cards. That's actually really cool. I know a lot of people would be excited about this. This is Laval Archer. He's a fire pyro effect monster. He's level 4 with 1,000 attack and 200 defense, and his second effect is a hard once per turn. If this card is normal summon, you can activate this effect during the main phase of this turn. You can normal summon an additional Laval monster in addition to your normal summoner set, and you can only get this effect once per turn. Okay, just gets you an additional summon. I like that. And the second effect, if this card is in your graveyard, you could target a fire monster you control. You won't be able to special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for fire, so it will lock you into fire monsters. Also destroy that target, and if you do, special summon this card in defense position, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, kind of a lot going on there. So you just get to target any fire you control, you pop it, and then special summon this guy. But then he gets banished when he leaves the field. Okay. I mean, he is level 4, so like maybe if he didn't have level 4 on the field, he could like set you up or trigger some graveyard effects by destroying. Not the worst thing. Locks you into fires, not the worst thing either. It's kind of a nice starter like / extender card for the archetype. Definitely a decent extender, I think, for Lavals. I don't know Lavals too thoroughly either, but this seems like a pretty good card for him. And then we also have Laval Salamander. Okay. This is a Fire Dragon Synchro effect monster. I love the artwork on this card. Looks so cool. The rock lava looking stuff. He's a level 7 with 2600 attack, 200 defense. He requires any tuner plus any one or more non-fire or non-tuner fire monsters. So the tuner does not have to be fire, but the non-tuners do. Interesting. And you can only use this card's first effect once per turn. This effect reads, if this card is synchro summoned, you can draw 2 cards, then send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard, including at least 1 fire monster. Or if you do not have any fire monsters in your hand, you have to reveal your entire hand and shuffle it into the deck. Okay, I mean, obviously, you better hope you have a fire monster, or you might not want to be making this unless you already guaranteed have one. But that's not a bad effect. Draw 2, send 2. Especially if you have like extra graveyard synergy stuff, like, yeah, just dump it for sure. And then its second effect says, once per turn you can banish a fire monster from your graveyard to change face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position up to the number of Laval monsters you control. That's not bad either. Banish any fire monster from your grave. So you at least get to book one thing. If it's not a quick effect, unfortunately. If this was a quick effect, this would be so much nicer. But it still just does flip at least one thing, hopefully more in a lot of situations. It's non-targeting, non-destruction kind of removal, or at least voiding protections that then you could use a removal effect that gets them. Or if they're just less than 2600 defense, you could clear them. Not a bad card. I think both of these are pretty decent cards for Lavals. Yeah, Lavals. So yeah, that's it for our first reveals for Selection Pack 10. This is really exciting. I mean, I had no idea what kind of archetypes to see here. Very, very interested, very surprised to see Shaddoll's in here. I'm curious if how they actually like fit in with the rest of the Shaddoll stuff. This card's like definitely weird to me. I don't see like the point other than just like swapping out into like a new beater. But these two cards definitely seem really nice for Lavals. But keep in mind, guys, I believe there's guaranteed 35 new cards in the set and 10 archetypes getting support. So we're looking at 3 to 4 cards of support for each archetype, most likely. Unless they're just doing it weird and these are like the only 2 Shaddolls. This is the only Galaxy Eyes card, and these are the only 2 Lavals, and then we have random archetypes that are just going to get 7 cards. I have no idea, obviously, but this is a cool start. I'm definitely excited to see what else we have in here for these decks, as well as what other archetypes are going to end up being in here. So, of course, guys, let me know your thoughts down below on these new cards in the comment section down below. If I missed any specific interactions or cool things about any of these cards, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. And I'm going to get the hell out of here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe if you want to see more news videos from your boy in the future. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.